Well, it is a little chain of carbon molecules. A molecule is just the littlest piece of nature. Carbon, oxygen, anything that you talk about like that, silver, those are all just little molecules. And this carbon is formed into a little circular bead. There's 6 of them in most cases. 6 of these carbons. And then they have some oxygen and hydrogen sticking off the side of them, carbohydrate altogether. That, in its simplest form, when you put them together in 6, is a sugar. That's sugar. The stuff that you eat on the table sugar, the white stuff, sugar. Brown sugar. Sounds simple, right? Fruit sugar, fructose. It's all the sugar. Sugar in milk. Sugar in malt, maltose. Sugar in milk, lactose. So OSE in the scientific world means sugar. So you've got all these sugars together. They're real simple. You put them in your body, they dissolve immediately and go right into your bloodstream. If you take them and put several of these little chains together, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, even into the hundreds, that's called starch. So starch is, again, just sugar. And your body is very capable of dissolving starch down into the individual sugar pieces. Starch is in what? Rice, potatoes, even carrots, and breads. It's just, they're really pure sugar. Okay, I'm sorry, that's the truth. Carbohydrates are not just the sugar on the table and the sweet stuff in fruits. It's everything, almost everything else you eat, including the fiber in fruits and vegetables that are good for you. That's just more sugar put together in even longer chains and then tied up in knots. So it's difficult to digest in that case. And you eat those and a lot of them just pass through you without being digested. But that's not the vast majority of the carbohydrates that we get. The vast majority are in 2 forms. Simple sugars, like table sugar, and starch, like in these rice, potatoes, and you could just go on and on, corn, everything, almost everything you eat, fruits. And again, I said vegetables. They don't have very much free sugar, the sweet stuff, but the lettuces and all these things, they still have lots of carbohydrates. Well, we've been talking about carbohydrates and how refined carbohydrates cause inflammation and then that leads to other trouble. But what are carbohydrates for? Energy. That's why you take them. You take everything else to build your body, proteins and vitamins and minerals, but the glucose, the sugars, the carbohydrates are there for energy. So if you have efficient carbohydrate management, really what that is saying is you have efficient energy management. Now you've got a lot of different types of carbohydrate in your body, not just these simple sugars. You've got glycogen. So you got the real simple glucose, and then you've got the glucose, more of them together, a little larger bits together. That's glycogen. It stays around in places like your muscles, so that once you use up the glucose in your blood when you're exercising, then it's got these little storage places where it goes to before you can eat. If you take some more sugar while you're exercising, you don't ever get rid of those glycogen molecules. They stay in storage. This is why when you're going into a weight loss program or you're trying to make yourself healthier, you need to stay away from carbohydrates as much as possible, several days even, because your body will use up the glucose and then it goes to the glycogen and uses those up. So until you do that, you'll never truly get all these carbohydrates out of your body.